People are terrific. Business is great. Life is wonderful. On one of my father's many journeys around the United States, he saw this bumper sticker he never seen himself. And he loved it because it summed up his optimism and his outlook on life. Those who knew him knew he was a unique individual. And those who didn't, I'd like to share a few tidbits with you to give you a little insight into our founder. Because he lived his life, the way he lived his life had such a profound impact on the Arbonne community we have today. So I have to tell you all, I love our GTC theme, Pure Joy, and I know my father would as well. Even though he came from very humble beginnings in rural Norway, he filled his life with joy. And he lived his life in a way that showed what was really meaningful and important to him. He was the youngest of 3 siblings, and he was raised by a single mom. Her name was Liv. And Liv, she worked multiple jobs. She was a home health care provider. She was a housekeeper. She picked berries and mushrooms in the seasons, and the whole years would knit mittens and socks to make ends meet. So life was hard, but she persisted. She was a strong woman. And my father saw this, and his respect for women and appreciation for hard work became a very important part of his being. In those early years, he wanted to become a concert conductor. Right? And even though he didn't pursue that dream, he loved art and he loved music. And he shared his love for the arts with everyone that he met. And many of you that knew him, you were part of concerts and special trips to museums, and he knew everything about everything. He was so into these things. He loved it. And he wanted to expose his friends in Arbonne to those things that he loved. And I remember personally growing up how he filled our house with beautiful classical music. And it was wonderful. I have great memories of that. When he was 15, he became a sailor on a freight ship that was bound for East Africa, age 15. That might be a little bit unusual, you say? And really, in those days in Norway, it was not uncommon for young men to become sailors. And there was also the other fact that this was one less mouth to feed for his mom. So it took the burden off. My father was young, and he did not know much about the world. And on this freight ship bound for East Africa, he met an important person. He met an old Polish sailor who took him under his wing and mentored him on this long journey. And this Polish sailor told him, be true to your word and give a little more than is expected of you. How many do more than is expected of them? You know, a 15-year-old boy, right? I have two 15-year-old young boys, teenage boys, and doing more than is expected of them is not something that you see a lot of. But Petter, he took this in, and it stayed with him for his entire life. And it became the foundation of our army. And I think about this, and I think how easily things could have turned out differently. Right? Imagine if he had not left to go to sea, if he hadn't met the sailor, what what if that sailor hadn't reached out and taken better under his wing? Always give a little more than is expected of you. It's such a simple concept, and it extends to the entire Arbonne way of life that we have. In our products, with our ingredient policy, we strive to deliver more than is expected. With our people and in our community, we do more, we give more, and we share more. In Arbonne, we are inclusive and we are respectful of others' opinions, others' lifestyles, others' values. In Arbonne, we support each other. We support our uplines, our sidelines, our success lines. We support each other. We take care of each other. And we want the best for those around us. Just like that sailor did for my father and changed his life forever. I believe that diversity is our strength in Arbonne. Look around, here we are today, full house, consultants from all walks of life, from all ages, every background you can imagine, from 7 different countries around the world. I just love it. I love it. And we have to make sure that we nurture this diversity. We have to take care of it. We have to nurture it. Remember always that more unite us than divides us. I think John O'Leary said that yesterday. Always give a little bit more than is expected of you. I challenge us to really live that value to its fullest. Reach out more, care more, give more, and then you'll reach higher. I guarantee you that is where pure joy is. We know that, right? We know that in our hearts. That is where it's at. Pure joy is inclusiveness and it's harmony. So imagine starting a company and watching it grow and seeing our beautiful community flourish upon the values with which it was founded. That gave my father amazing pride and joy. So I'd like to share a couple of other stories about my father, because he really was a joyful person. Like I said, he loved this theme. Seeing Arbonne have its first $1 million month in 1990 was pure joy. Imagine celebrating the celebration that we had when we had our first $1 million day a few years later. So recharging his batteries close to nature on a little island in Norway was also pure joy for my father. This is where he would spend quiet times in the woods, chopping down trees and taking care of the small brush. He would till the soil, tend to the gardens and the fruit trees. By the way, I have to tell you, so many of you have asked me about my mom. And I want to tell you, she is well and happy, and I talked this morning with her, and she's actually on her way down to the island right now to do exactly what my father did. So, listen to her. And I also want to thank Doreen Crow and her team for your beautiful flowers and for your beautiful notes. Thank you, Doreen, wherever you are. She sent it to me and my mom. Thank you. Anyway, so some other stories or things about my father that gave me joy was, for example, some of you have seen this on the island, building stone walls that would be there for generations to come after he was gone. That was pure joy for my father, stone walls. And then suddenly, after having been out in the woods or tilling the garden or making stone walls, he would disappear and take his old wooden boat out into the ocean, and he would catch fresh fish for dinner. He loved that, and for him that was pure joy. Sometimes some go with him too. Planting trees on the island was pure joy, so we've been part of that as well. planting whole forests on Iceland and in Israel was huge, an amazing experience for me and for him and for everyone around that was part of that. But he did those kind of things. He designated a corner of our old warehouse as a kids zone, so that one of our employees, with 3 small girls, they were like 1, 2, and 3, this employee couldn't afford daycare. And so he designated this area of our warehouse as a kids zone, so the girls could be there, so the employee could be there with the girls. And seeing him play in that corner with those 3 girls, that was amazing for everyone that saw that. And maybe there's something, I'm not sure, maybe about leading Arbon, because our CEO, Kay Sanodi, she also cannot resist little babies. And I think we heard it a few times, but right after this session at 5:15, right outside here, Kay wants all the consultants that have a baby, an infant with them, to please meet outside for a photo shoot with her and your baby and you. So please join us out there at 5:15. I love knowing that my father's appreciation for finding pure joy in everyday life continues in the Arbon community today. How we each have our very own everyday personal moments of pure joy. Like right now. I love you all, and I'm so very proud of what we do. I'm proud most of all that after all of this time, no matter what the challenges are that we face, we continue to do more than is expected of us. Thank you all very much.